The U.S. Supreme Court has issued a unanimous ruling against the city of Boston in a case involving the display of a Christian flag. The court noted that Boston routinely allows private groups to use one flagpole for a temporary display. Now, normally, government flags are flown on 3 poles outside of City Hall. The ruling held the city violated the free speech of an applicant who wanted to fly a Christian flag. Justice Breyer wrote the city discriminated against the man because of his religious viewpoint. And joining us now to discuss is Chris Bedford, senior editor at the Federalist and co-founder of Right Forge. Chris, welcome back. Always so good to see you. There is a lot to get to today, but first off, your thoughts on the Supreme Court's unanimous ruling and what it signals for religious freedom.
Well, I love it. It's a great way to start May off, and another month, hopefully with some warmer weather this time around. I grew up in Boston, and this is something that you've experienced, that we've experienced in a lot of these cities around the United States and a lot of these states, which is the idea that religion, organized religion, shouldn't have control over the federal government, has been interpreted by modern liberal governments to say religion must be exiled from the public space. It is against the rules to be Christian. Basically, it's made it so that atheism is the religion of the United States, not as opposed to just simply agnosticism or not choosing winners. So it's great to see a unanimous decision come from the Supreme Court, and it's something which is so clear. The state not actually sponsoring a religion is not the same as the state excluding one from and Christians from being able to express themselves. It's a good day.
Yeah, well said. On a different note, new polling out this week for President Biden. According to a Rasmussen Reports poll, just 44% approve of the job that he is doing, and a whopping 65% of people polled, they think the country is headed in the wrong direction. Chris, help us unpack those numbers.
The polls in the country heading in the wrong direction is about the most reliable poll you can look at for any political party and how they're doing. Well, people are going to have partisanship or discontent or different problems or things that they care about most. Whether or not the American people think the country is headed in the right direction is a sign of whether or not you're going to be reelected. Now, of course, Joe Biden's not on the ballot this time, but you see Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, all these people kind of are on the ballot. Well, that's the things that people are going to be speaking about or thinking about when they start to vote. The Democrats are in for a real serious problem. And right now, for the midterms, there's a lot of complaints spreading through D.C. that the leadership doesn't even seem to know exactly what to do to right that ship.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you know, those dismal poll numbers for Biden are also not boding well for Democrats as we head into the midterm elections. Let's talk a little bit more about that, Chris, and the key races that you are keeping your eyes on.
2 of the ones that I'm keeping my eyes on right now are J.D. Vance's race and Blake Masters. And the reason that I'm watching both of those races is because there's still a battle going on for the soul of the Republican Party. What kind of party are they going to be? Are they going to be a party that's more aligned maybe with Mitt Romney, or a party that's more aligned with some of the more populist ideas that these folks represent? Donald Trump really introduced that on the national stage to the Republican Party, made it a big thing after people like Rick Santorum and Jeff Sessions have been pushing it for years. But here's a younger generation now that's rising up. They've got a lot of different people pulling against them, some people pulling for them. So how the electorate decides which one of those best represents the GOP is something to think will give us an idea of what's coming in the future of that party.
Yeah, Chris, something else I want to talk about that has a lot of people talking right now is this recent appointment of President Biden's new so-called disinformation czar. Now, over the weekend, DHS Secretary Mayorkas addressed it, saying that Nina Jankowicz is eminently qualified to lead the Disinformation Governance Board, and that board will not infringe on free speech or civil liberties. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
I don't see exactly what makes her so eminently qualified. She spent the last 6 years as a Democratic propagandist. And this is really frustrating to see and really frightening to see that this Disinformation Bureau is going to be housed in the Department of Homeland Security, something that was used to put together by the President Bush to try and defend the United States against attacks. Because that fits in line with a lot of the different lines that the Democrats have pushed over the past couple of years against President Trump, whether it was Russiagate or nowadays, where they're claiming that the things that they don't like are foreign disinformation. They claim that about the Hunter Biden laptop. They're trying to shroud a lot of these censorship efforts behind the intelligence community when they have all these former members of the intelligence community signing letters that just push a lot of their propaganda. These are things that she's pushed. At the same time, she's pushed some of those conspiracy theories like Russiagate that turned out to not actually be true, that turned out to actually be, ironically, disinformation. Now, Mayorkas has said correctly that this is simply going to be an oversight board. But so far, I think the burden of proof is truly going to be on them. This is a dangerous aspect. This is an administration that sent FBI agents to monitor teacher-parent meetings. So to say that they're not going to step in is hard to believe.
Okay, we're going to leave it right there. Chris, thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate your analysis.
Thank you.